नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है, दैट टॉपिक इज सेट. ओके, सेट आज जो हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, द टॉपिक नेम इज सेट. एज वी नो, सेट इज कलेक्शन ऑफ हेट्रोजीनियस ऑब्जेक्ट और उसकी रिप्रेजेंटेशन समथिंग लाइक दिस. और इसकी एडवांटेज क्या है? डुप्लीकेट एंटिटी इज ऑटोमेटिकली डिलीटेड. ठीक है जी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई डू दिस एस इज इक्वल टू 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. okay, then automatically these duplicate entity will be removed from the set. This is the property of a set. Okay, and representation of set is these curly braces. That's mean you have to represent set something like this with the help of these curly braces. Dictionary और set में difference क्या है? Dictionary collection of key value pair, set is the collection of the heterogeneous objects. So this is the only difference between these two. आज जो हम elaborate करने जा रहे हैं वो हम set को elaborate करने जा रहे हैं. How we can handle this set, how we can add, how we can remove the item from this, from this set. Okay, तो set की जो छोटी सी एक definition है, let's suppose we want to represent group of unique values. Okay, as a single entity, then we should go for a set. अगर मुझे unique entities लेनी है तो then what I have to do, I have to move to the set. For example, ये आपकी list है. Okay, ये आपकी list है and what you have to do, आपको इसमें से डुप्लीकेट्स रिमूव करने हैं. वे नंबर 1, यू हैव टू क्रिएट योर ओन लॉजिक. वे नंबर 2, व्हाट यू कैन डू द टाइप कास्टिंग. सिंपल. कैसे? L इज इक्वल टू ओके लिस्ट ऑफ सेट ऑफ L. व्हाट आई एम डूइंग ओवर हियर, आई एम कन्वर्टिंग दिस लिस्ट टू सेट फर्स्ट एंड देन I am converting this set to again list. Now what will be happening over here? Automatically first in this scenario it become the set. This become the set of the unique item 10 20 30 40. Okay, now this set is I am converting into the list. This is the one way. Okay, this is the one way. With the help of this, what I can do, I can remove the element with the help of this type casting. Otherwise you have to write a complete logic to remove the duplicate items from the entire list. Okay, so this is the way. So अब इसके साथ जो अपने मेथड्स है, हाउ आई कैन क्रिएट ए सेट. मैं सेट कैसे बना सकता हूँ? दैट्स वेरी सिंपल. S इज इक्वल टू सेट ऑफ रेंज ऑफ 0 to 10. जैसे इमेजिन इट, मैं आइटरेबल ऑब्जेक्ट्स ले रहा हूँ और इसको कन्वर्ट कर रहा हूँ किसके अंदर? सेट के अंदर. तो ये सेट जो बन जाएगा 0 से लेकर के 9 यूनिक आइटम्स का सेट क्रिएट हो जाएगा. सो दिस इज द वे. Okay, and when I do this, now you guys know very well, this is the dictionary. If I print type of S, it will give you the dict object. Okay, तो set बनाने के लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? What I have to do, I have to use this. तो मुझे heterogeneous items को लेना पड़ेगा. Okay, heterogeneous mean take any kind of data. For example, this one, Ram. Okay, 1 2 Ravi. Okay, and then let's suppose Sham and so on. You have to use this. So this is the way. Okay, so now move to the next. The important the method which are the basically function or method which are associated with this set. Okay, set के साथ जो associated methods हैं available हैं. Now understand those methods in great detail. Let's suppose this one is the set. S is equal to 10 20 30. Okay, this is the set. Now what I want to do, I want to add some element. So for the same, the add S dot add of, let's suppose 100. Now by default set is the mutable. It's a mutable object. Now what will happen? It automatically add with the help of this add method. It added into this set. Now your set become 10 20 30 and 100. Okay, so this is the way. The first is the add. If you want to add the element into this set. Okay, now the next is update. Now what is the meaning of update? Now understand this. Let's suppose this is your set, this one your set 10 20 30. Okay, and this one your list. L is equal to let's suppose 40 50. Now I want to update this set with this list. So for the same, what method that I have? S dot update of L. Okay, update of L. Now this set has been updated with the entries of 10 20 30, 40 and 50. Now it's become something like this. Make sure, what is the difference between this add and update? Add take only one item, but update can take iterable objects. Now what are the meaning of the iterable objects? That you can do, you can take, let's suppose s dot update, you can take list, okay, over here, or you can take tuple over here, or you can take the range data type over here. But you cannot do something like this, s dot update of 10, 20, 30. No, it's a error. Okay, so keep this point into the mind. Add take only one item. Okay, if you want to update multiple items, then what you have to use? You have to use this update and make sure that you are passing over here. Rather than to enter multiple items, you have to pass the iterable objects. And iterable objects we know very well. List, tuple, okay, and range. You can use these to update the existing set with these iterable objects. So keep this point into mind. Okay, important one. Otherwise, you will face the error message on the screen. Now, next, suppose one more thing. If you do this s dot update of 10. Okay, now it will give you again error. It will give you again error. It is again error because you are passing single element and single element is not allowed. So keep this point into mind. Okay, the next the method that is associated with this set, s is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay, now what I want to do, s1 is equal to s dot copy, that we already discussed a number of times the meaning of this copy. To copy the content of this, if I do this s1 is equal to s, that means I am doing the aliasing, I am doing the cloning over here. So this is the only difference between aliasing and cloning. Okay, if you want to do cloning, you have to use this copy method, and we already discussed a number of times. Now the next one is pop. Okay, pop, s dot pop. It will remove any item from this list. Okay, any item, because these are the unordered pair, so it will never remove the last element. In the case of list, it always remove the last element as we know, because these are the continuous memory location, but set is the not a continuous memory, unordered pair. Okay, so with the help of this pop, what it will do, it will remove the arbitrary element from this entire set. Might be 20, might be 30, but these items are less, so this time it will give you 30. Okay, it will give you 30. But if the items are large, okay, in huge amount, then it can remove any item from the existing cell. So it's not a hard and fast rule. In this case, in the pop, the method is same. The pop that is used for set as well, the pop that is used for list as well, as we discussed into the last chapter when we discuss about the list. Okay, so this is the difference between pop inside this set and pop inside this list. So keep this point into mind. Okay, now in the next, let's suppose the remove. Okay, now this time I want to remove specific item, s dot remove of. Let's suppose I am removing 10. Now this 10 has been removed from the entire set. Okay, this 10 has been removed. Now let's suppose I do s dot, let's suppose this is my set 10, 20, 30. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to remove by mistake I want to remove 50. Now in this case you will get the error message. Why so? Because the 50 is not available inside this set, and I am trying to remove that 50, and it will give you the error message. So keep this point into mind. If the item is there, then it will be removed. If the item is not there, then it will give you the error message. So keep this point into the mind when you use the remove with set. Okay, now by mistake, okay, by mistake you add this 50, but I don't want error. Okay, I don't want error. So for the same, what I have to do, I have to use the method. That method name is called s dot discard. Okay, s dot discard of 50. Now in this case you won't get any error. Okay, you won't get any error, but in this case you will get the error message. So this is the only difference between remove and discard. Remove, when the item is not there, then it will return you the the error message. Okay, that is the key error. But in the case of discard, when the item is not there, then it will return you none. So this is the difference between remove and discard, add and update. Okay, add and update. The add will take the single element to add the content into the existing set, but update take the iterable object. You cannot pass the single element into the update. So this is the difference between add and update. This is the difference between remove and discard, and this question would be there into the Microsoft examination. Okay, so they will use this and then they will give you the multiple option. You have to select what exactly output will be there, something like this. Okay, now the next one is clear. So clear is always specify itself s dot clear. Clear mean to cleaning the existing set. Let's suppose a set is existing over there and I want to clean it, but I don't want to remove the existence of this set, just I want to remove it. Okay, so for removing, for clearing these items, for removing these items, now if I print s, now this has become the empty after performing this clear. So this is the clear. Clear we already discussed with the list, same, exactly same. Okay, dictionary d dot clear, that we already discussed. Okay, so the next method that is associated with it, the mathematical operator on the set. What various the mathematical operation that you can perform on the set, as we studied into our school days or into our into the discrete mathematics. You might have heard about the term union, intersection and all things that we are going to implement over the set. Now understand it. The mathematical operation that can we perform on the sets. The first one is the union. Okay, the first one is the union. As we know, union mean combining. Okay, combining. The same thing if I want to perform over the set. Let's suppose this x is a set 10 20. Okay, 10 20, y is equal to 30 40. Okay, just imagine it. Now I want to perform the union operation on these two sets, and we know the union operation. Okay, now what output I will get if I do this? X dot union of union. Okay, spelling perfect. Union of y. Now what will happen? Now when I print, then what output I will get? I will get 10 20 30 40. That operation I perform, the union operation I perform. Okay, the union with the help of this union. Okay, you are not comfortable to write this union, but else you can use x pipe sign and y. Okay, pipe sign, as we know, it is into the enter key, upward to the enter key. Here your enter key and there one key, that key is something like this, and pipe sign. Okay, and with backslash. So what you can use? You can use shift plus this key. Okay, so this is the pipe sign for the union. Okay, so choice is again here. If you perform these two operations, the output would be exactly same. There is no difference between these two output. The choices are depend upon you. Whatever you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable to write union, go with the union. If you feel comfortable to pipe sign, then go with the pipe sign. Okay, this one is the union. The next one is the same operation that we studied into the school days. Okay, intersection or into our discrete mathematics. Now the second operation is intersection. Now intersection mean this one. Okay, the common element between these two. Okay, the common element between these two. Now for example, let's suppose this one is x is equal to 10 20 30 40. Okay, and y is equal to 30 40 50 60. Okay, if I perform this intersection operation, then what will happen? Okay, one way to perform intersection, x dot intersection, intersection. Okay, you are supposed to write the complete name. Okay, x dot intersection of y. Then what output I will get? The common element. The common element between these two is 30 and 40. Then what output you will get? 30 and 40. Okay, now x dot. Okay, the second way how I can perform the the alternate way for the intersection and y, x and y. Now output is exactly same. Okay, exactly same. Whatever you want to perform, if you are comfortable with this, go with this. If you are comfortable with this, then go with this. So this is the way to perform the intersection on the sets. Okay, now the third one is difference. Okay, for the difference, let's suppose x is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, y is equal to 30, let's suppose 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, now I want to perform the difference. So one way over there, x dot difference of y, then what output you will get? 10 and 20. Okay, if I perform, let's suppose another way how I can perform x minus y, the output is same, 10 and 20. Okay, if I want to perform y minus x, then output would be 50 and 60. So this is the difference. Return the element that present in x but not in y. Okay, present in x but not in y. Now you can clearly observe when I perform this x minus y. Now you can understand this scenario. In this case, okay, 30, 40 is present over there, 10, 20 are the unique item that are not common. Okay, that are not common. When I perform this x minus y, so it is finding the the unique item which are not present into the y. So I am getting the output, that is the 10 and 20. But when I perform y minus x, then what output I will get? I am getting only those values which are not into the x. So inside x, if I observe these values, the 50, 60 is not present over here. The 50 and 60 is not present over there. Okay, 30, 40 is there. So easy way to keep remember this. If you want to perform this difference, just imagine it, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, y is equal to, let's suppose 30, 40, 50, 60. Now you want to perform x minus y. Okay, so just imagine it, these, okay, cut it down. What you left into the case of the x, you get 10 and 20. Okay, 10 and 20. In the case of y minus x, what you left, that is the 50 and 60. This is the way to implement this difference. Choice is again your x minus difference, or you can use the sign of minus. Again the choices depend upon the your convenient. Now the next one is symmetric difference. Sy, the spelling for the same, Sy, I think double MET RIC. Okay, please verify these the spellings. I think the double M or single M. Okay, symmetrics underscore, okay, underscore difference. Okay, underscore difference. So this is the way to find out the symmetric difference, and alternate is this sign, this cap sign. Okay, choice is again your, you can use the complete name, the symmetric difference, okay, or you can use this cap sign. Now what is the meaning of this? Now observe this scenario. Let's suppose these are x and y, x 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay, y is 30, 40 and 50 and 60, and you want to perform the symmetry. One way is complete name, okay, symmetric difference of y. Another way is x cap sign y. So what output you will get in this case? You will get 10, okay, you will get 50, you will get 20 as well, okay, you will get 60 as well. Okay, now understand why I get this output. In this case, the return element that present either x or y but not in both. Okay, so simple way to keep remember this thing. Okay, if I want to perform x this, okay, the output would be same in the both of the cases, whether you perform this, whether you perform this. Now you can observe this scenario, the element cut it down, okay, the common element removed, so I won't get these element, I won't get these element, okay, I won't get these element. So what output I will get? From the x, the unique item this one, from the y, the unique item this one. Okay, but in the case of if I perform x minus y, then you will get only 10, 20. Okay, but into the symmetric difference, you will get the unique item present into the x and y. This is just comparison of the items. These items cut it down, so left these items, you left only 10, 20 and 50, 60. You will get the same the unique item that is present into the x and that is present into the y. So this is the way to perform this symmetric difference. So these are the 4 mathematical operation that you can perform on the on the set The one is the pipe sign, okay, for the union and intersection, okay, and difference, and this one for the symmetric difference. Okay, so these are the mathematical operation that you can perform. Now the same is membership operator. Same again, you can use it. S is equal to, let's suppose 10, 20, 30. Okay, S 10 in S, the output would be true, perfect. 10 not in S, the output would be false. Okay, the same, no need to I think explain more these two membership operator because we used n number of time. Okay, this can be used with string, this can be used with list, dictionary, okay, tuple as well. Now the next is your set comprehension. Set comprehension, yes, the term set comprehension is available inside the Python. Let's suppose a very simple, x multiply x, okay, for x in the range of 5. Very simple. So what output you will get? You will get the first time you will get x 0, so 0 into 0, so 0 multiplied by 0, 0, then x become 1, 1 multiplied by 1, 2 multiplied by 2, 4, okay, x become 3, 3 multiplied by 3, 9, 4, 4 multiplied by 4, that is the 16. So this is the way to do the set comprehension. Same, exactly same, nothing else. On the difference between these braces. When I use these braces, then it will become, you know, the set. Okay, if I perform something like this, let's suppose I am making this as a key and let's suppose this constant as a value. So now it becomes the dictionary because I use this syntax, and this syntax represent the key and value. Okay, if you want to perform the set, there is no need to use the concept of these colons. Okay, colons. Okay, now it's become the set. Okay, I am writing once again the same thing that you want to represent into the dictionary. For this time, let's suppose you want to, this is the set output and you want to the dictionary output. For the dictionary output, let's suppose you want for 0 into 0, 0, 1 into 1, 1, 2 into 2, 4, 3 into 3, 9, 4 into 4, 16. Okay, now you want this output. For the same, what you have to do over here, okay, you have to just simply remove it. Now x colon x multiplied by x, yes, this is the way. Now it becomes the dictionary. In this case, you will get this output. The starting value x is 0, and when we perform 0 into 0, it becomes 0. Okay, now x 1 into 1, 1, 2, 2 into 2, 4, 3 into 3, 9, and so on. Okay, so these are basically the method and the, you know, the function that are associated with this set. You can't perform the slicing inside set. Okay, keep this point into mind. Let's suppose this one your data and you want to perform s of 0. Now you will get the error message because slicing is not applicable into the set. Why so? Because this is the unordered pair. That's why you are not supposed to perform the slicing and indexing. Let's suppose in the second case you want to perform one colon and that's it. Again you will get the error message. So keep this point into mind. That I already told you into our first lecture. Okay, and n number of times. So why so? The question is why so? Because these are the unordered pair. They don't take the consecutive memories. When they don't take the consecutive memory, then this type of operation cannot be performed into the set and into the dictionary. But in the case of list, yes, because these are the consecutive memories. In the case of tuple, yes, again you can perform because this is the consecutive memory. In the case of, you know, the string, again it is the consecutive memory. So in this case, yes, the slicing indexing applicable, but in the case of dictionary and in the case of set, that is not applicable. Okay, so very simple program, writing a very simple program, removing the element of, you know, the duplicate elements from the list. So now I am explaining way one. I know you might have definitely question when I discuss the same thing कि sir मेरे को बिना set के करना है, that I want to perform without set to removing the duplicate items from the list. So I am writing one code. So आपका थोड़ा सा logic भी इससे build हो जाएगा and I will show you the way number 2. Okay, very simple way and this is the way number 1. Little tricky, थोड़ा सा हम logic लिखते हैं इसमें, ठीक है? Okay, now understand this. The question is remove the duplicate items from the list. So let's suppose this is my list 10, 20, 30, 10, 5, 10, 20. Okay, now my question is I have to remove the duplicate item without using this set. So what I have to do, I have to write a complete logic for the same. Okay, I am taking this L1, this empty L1. Okay, now what I have to do, first of all iterate the items. As we know, we need one by one every item. Okay, now here is logic. If X, very simple, okay, not in L1. Okay, if X is not in L1, then what do you have to do? Simply L1 dot append of X, very simple, and then print of L1. This is the way number one. So what exactly happening over here? Now observe this. X contained in the first iteration, that is 10. Okay, that is 10. What I am doing? I am asking 10 not in L. Yes, condition true. Then what we have to do? We have to append the item into the L1. So I am adding 10 into the L1. Okay. In the next case, X contain 20. Now this 20 not into L1. Perfect. Yes, not into L1. Please append it. Now 30 again not into L1. Please append. Okay. Now 10 not in L1. Okay, this time I will get the false because 10 is already over there. Then do not do anything. Okay, in the next iteration I become 5. Yes, condition true. Then add 5. In the next case, 10 already present, 20 already present. Now you will get the item, that is unique item. Okay, into this list. This is the logic. The same logic you can implement into your C++ to remove the duplicate item from an array. Okay, this one is the logic. And the way number two, the same thing that you can achieve only single line of code. L1 is equal to list of set of L1. That's it. This is the traditional way. This is the Pythonic way. Choice is again here. Whatever logic that you want to implement, both are the sufficient logic. Okay, so this is basically Pythonic way and this is the traditional way. I think picture is clear. Okay, now very simple. The next one is write a program to find the unique vowels. Let's suppose I write a string and I need unique vowels. Okay, and I have total 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, that we know, and I want to find the unique vowels. For example, H, E, L, L, O, E, L, L, O, O, E. Okay, if I find out the unique vowels, there are only 2 unique vowels, E and O. Very simple, E and O. That I want to find out the unique vowel from this entire string. Then what I have to do? Understand this. First, what I have to do? S is equal to set of X. Now this is converted into the set. Now what exactly it's contain? H, okay, E, okay, L, okay, L, O, E, L, L, O, O, E. Okay, it's become this, and automatically duplicate remove. Okay, now in my V, understand this, in my V there is A, E, I, O, U. Understand this. Now what I want to do, now very simple operation. D is equal to S dot intersection of V. That's it. Now when I convert this thing into set, now this become H, E, L, O. Okay, this become this. Now inside V is also set. Okay, this one is also set. Perform the intersection. The intersection we know, the common element between these two, and these common element are these one. So you will get this E, O. Very simple way. Otherwise again you have to create a logic. Okay, you have to create a logic that we already discussed, I suppose, in the case of dictionary or in the case of list, or might be into the case of the string. So this is another way to perform the same thing with 3 line of code. So this one is the technique. Okay, so I think more clarity about set. If you have any doubt, please do let me know before proceed further. Please ask any doubt if anyone having any doubt. हाँ जी, डाउट है किसी को? हाँ जी भाई. ओके, आसान था, कुछ भी नहीं था. ओके, सेट इज वेरी सिंपल. चलो आगे करते हैं थोड़ा सा. नाउ द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग. ओके, एक्सेप्शन handling. Now what is this exception handling? Basically these are the errors. Okay, handling the errors inside the program. आपने देखा होगा, you are getting the error of the key error, okay, value error, something like this. So I want to handle the errors. For that, a predefined, the classes are available inside Python. That concept is called exception handling, that you have to capture these exceptions. Now if I describe the exception, there are two types of exception. The one is the syntax error. Basically exception handling mean to handle the errors. Okay, two types of error, syntax error and your logical error. Okay, the two errors are there in the programming language. There are two basic errors. The one is the syntax error and the second one is the logical error or runtime error, which you can specify this runtime as well. Okay. Now what are the syntax error? The errors which occur due to the invalid syntax. Invalid syntax. For example, you perform this print 10. Okay. Now it is the error. Why so? Because you forgot to mark these parentheses, and inside Python if you want to use this print function, the parentheses are mandatory in Python 3. So in this case you will get the error message. These are the syntax error, the error caused by human. Okay, the error caused by human or programmer. When you are writing a program, sometime what exactly happen, for example, you just do this, okay, this is the syntax error because you forgot to close this, the quotes. So in this case you will get the error message, and this error is categorized into the syntax error. Now the next concept is called runtime errors. Okay, runtime errors, for example, what you do, let's suppose you try to do this print 10 divided by 0. Okay, now this is the error, and which error? This is the runtime error. At the compilation there would be no error, but when you are executing it, then what will happen? 10 divided by 0, you will get the error message, because this is not a valid operation into the mathematics, and this is the arithmetic error. But it is not a syntax error. Okay, when you write and you compile your program, it won't get any error, but when it executes this program, you will get the error message. Okay, sometime you can do this mistake, print of 10 divided by 10. Okay, you are dividing this 10 with this string, and again you will get the error message. So these are also called the exceptions. Okay, exception, and we have to catch these exceptions. Now what is the role of the exception handling? Okay, now understand the concept. While executing the program, if something goes wrong, okay, by input, let's suppose you ask from the user, enter first value 10, enter second value 20. Okay, and this is the string, and you convert it into the integer. Now you are doing this, so you will get the error message. Okay, wrong because of the end user or programming logic. This is your programming logic, that you want to perform something like this. और मेमोरी प्रॉब्लम, समटाइम कैन देयर बी ए मेमोरी प्रॉब्लम. ओके, जैसे हमने लास्ट में देखा था, दिस इज द मेमोरी प्रॉब्लम, जब हम उसको बहुत लंबी वैल्यू से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे थे और एक टाइम पे आके वो हमें मेमोरी प्रॉब्लम दे रहा था. तो कहता वी विल रिटर्न एरर्स इन दिस केस. सो इन एरर्स को अपने को पकड़ना है, सो डैट अपना जो प्रोग्राम है वो ग्रेसफुली टर्मिनेट हो। नाउ व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द ग्रेसफुली टर्मिनेट? अगर मान के चलो कोई मिस्टेक आप कर भी रहे हो, ओके, कोई कर भी रहे हो, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली उस मिस्टेक को कवर करके दूसरा ब्लॉक एग्जीक्यूट कर दे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर परफॉर्मिंग मिस्टेक ओवर हेयर इनसाइड दिस ब्लॉक। अगर तो इस ब्लॉक के अंदर एरर आ रही है तो अपना प्रोग्राम यहीं पे बंद हो जाएगा। ओके, आपने ये 5 लाइनें लिखी, अब इस लाइन में एरर आ चुकी है, इस लाइन में एरर आ चुकी है। ओके, तो आपका प्रोग्राम जो है वो बंद हो गया। ठीक है जी, लेट्स सपोज यू आर परफॉर्मिंग दिस ऑपरेशन ओवर हियर। नाउ दिस इज कॉल्ड द program terminated due to exception. So this is called not gracefully terminate your program. But what I want when I got error into this line, my program should be terminate, the gracefully termination. The gracefully termination mean, let's suppose I got a error into this block, but when I got a error into this block, automatically perform this line of code. So this concept is called gracefully termination, that I want from my program. It should never be closed, unexpectedly closed. Okay, it never be unexpectedly closed. Basically, this is the appropriate word. And I want my program with graceful termination. The graceful termination mean when I got a error over here, if I don't use try and except modules, okay, then let's suppose I am writing a simple code. I am writing 5 lines, 6 lines, whatever lines I write. I got a error into this line number 3, and what will happen? Let's suppose I perform this operation over here. Now what will happen? These line will not execute. Okay, this line will not execute. Now this is the abnormal termination. But I want when I got an error over here, then it moved to somewhere else. Okay, it performed this line of code. So this concept is called gracefully termination. For what I have to use, I have to take the advantage of this try and except block over here. Inside Java, there is try and catch. Okay, try and catch. Try mean it will throw the error. The catch mean it will catch the error. Catcher, just like a catcher. But inside Python, the terminology, the functionality is same, but the terminology is try and except. So keep this point into mind. When you are playing with Python, then you have to use this terminology, try and except. If you come from this background, Java background, then the terminology is try and catch. The functionality is same, the task is same, the purpose is same. Okay, this try and except block inside Python from very first day. Okay, but inside Java this came into the 1.4 version. Okay, prior to 1.4 version there is no concept of the try and catch block. So inside Python this try and catch block is from day 1. So some of the feature, Java copied some of the features from Python, and it is the oldest language. It is one of the oldest language. Java came into the picture 1994. This came into the picture into 1990. But some extent Java provide huge security on early days. That's why 90% the development is moved to the this Java. But Python work on the today's requirement. So today requirement, as we know, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, IoT, cloud computing. So these concept, if I want to implement these concept, then the Python play the important role. Okay, so I am not moving to this direction. So this is the only difference between these two. If you are coming from the from the Java background, the terminology is try and catch. If you are coming from if you are from inside Python, then you have to use this try and except. Okay, a regular expression. Inside Python the regular expression is from day 1, and inside Java the regular expression introduced into the version, I suppose 1.5 or 1.6. okay, so understand. Now as we know the exception, Okay, now what is the exception? An unwanted and you can say unexpected event. Okay, the unwanted and unexpected event that disturb the normal flow. What is the normal flow? If I write this line, the normal flow is this, but by mistake you are getting the error over here. Now your program is abnormal termination. Okay, so this is the exception. Now what are the various classes that are available inside Python for this exception handling? Now what type of exception that can be caused, you know, the basic, these are the classes basically. Zero, okay, zero division error. Okay, zero division error when you're trying to do this, type error. Okay, type error, this is the class when you're trying to do this. Okay, you are dividing your integer value with some kind of string. Okay, this is the type error, you might have seen n number of times. Value error, definitely seen this error. Key error, okay, key error, you are trying to fetch on that key, but that key is not available into the dictionary, you might have seen n number of times. Okay, end of file error, EOF error. Okay, so these are the classes basically which are available. File not found error. Okay, file not found. When we will do the file handling, then we will understand what is the file not found. So these are the basic, you know, the classes available inside the Python. Now it is highly recommended. It is highly recommended if I develop a, you know, the application for real-time scenario. Application for the real-time scenario. For example, you are developing a software that is delivered to a client. At that time, it is mandatory, highly recommended to handle the exception. The main objective, you know, for exception handling is gracefully termination of the program. That's it. That is the main objective basically. That your program should be gracefully terminated. This is the abnormal termination, but I want when the error occur over here, then I want it should, you know, terminate it gracefully. It should terminate it gracefully. You will get a proper message that way you are doing the, you know, 10 divided by 0, that is not, you know, applicable into the mathematics, something like this. Or sometime you may feel this please enter valid input. Okay, please enter valid, you know, valid password. For example, when you sign out or when you sign up for any of the, you know, application, and the mandatory word is one letter should be capital, and there should be some, you know, the special symbol, and there should be some mathematical digits. Then but you are trying to do this ABC, and then it will give you the error message, please provide a valid, you know, the valid valid combination of this password. So this is called the, you know, exception handling. This is not exact example for the exception handling. You can relate this example with the exception handling because this is not a logical error. So understand the concept how we can handle these kind of things. Now I think the picture is clear. Why I more focus on these, you know, the exception handling. There are many students who you know, who listen this word first time in their entire career, exception handling. Please raise your hand. Okay, just tell me who listen this word first time into the programming, that is the exception handling. Please tell me who listen this exception handling first time in their, you know, the programming career. Anyone जिसने पहली बार वर्ड सुना हो एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग, है कोई ऐसा? सबने सुन रखा है? हाँ ना तो बोल दो यार. हाँ जी, काव्य आपने सुना हुआ है? ओके, गुड, अच्छी बात है. चलो, नाउ मूव हाउ वी कैन हैंडल द एक्सेप्शंस. सो अपना जो टारगेट है, very simple, with the help of try and accept. With the help of this try and accept, these are two, you know, the keywords which are used to handle the exception handling. So understand this concept. Now without, you know, without exception handling, without try and accept, I am writing this print hello. Okay, then I am writing print 10 divided by 0, and then I am writing print high. So in this case, what output I will get? I will get over here the output hello, and when it execute this line, you will get the error message. Okay, zero division error, zero division error. Okay, you will get the zero. This is called the abnormal termination. I am expecting this one. Now my program is terminating over here. Why so? Because in this line that I got a error, that is the zero division error. Now this is the without exception handling. Okay, without try and except. Now I want to handle this exception. For handling this exception, what you have to do? Now print hello. Okay, print hello. Now what do you have to do? Try colon and press tab. When these colons are there, definitely you have to use the tab indentation. Then what do you have to do? I know I will get an error into this line, so I will put this line into the try block. Okay, I put this line into the try block, and when I use this try, then mandatory to use this except. Okay, now this except is associated with this try, and what error it's throwing? It's throwing zero. Okay, this is the name of the class. You have to use exactly same, zero division error, E capital, D capital and Z capital. This is the existing class, zero division error. Okay, now what I have to perform? Print 10 divided by 2, and then what will happen? Print high. The same code, but this time with the help of the exception handling. Now this line will be executed. Now it will move into this try block, and error will occur over here, that is 10 divided by 0. What error that is occurring? That is zero division error. Okay, zero division error. Now keep this point into mind. I used a catcher. Okay, now understand this point. This line will throw a zero division error. Okay, I used this try will throw zero division error. Okay, zero division error. Now if the catcher is same, let's suppose that is the zero division error, then it is able to catch it. Okay, then it can catch this error. Let's suppose the error is coming from here zero division, but here the catcher is key error. Now what exactly happened? This is the again abnormal termination. Now understand the flow. Print this, it will print this hello. Okay, it will print this hello. Now the try block, I know I will get the error. The risky code, basically the risky code I always used to put inside the try block. Now I know the chances of error can be occur over here, so I put this code into this try block, and when this error occur over here, then it automatically move to the accept block. Inside accept block, what exactly happening? Now it is printing on the screen, that is 10 divided by 2, output would be 5.0, and after printing it, now what will happen? It will print this high. So this is the way to handle the the exception inside your program. So this is the try, this is the except. This try is associated with this except, and this catcher, basically this except statement is able only handle the zero division error. By mistake, if you try to do over here, print 10 divided by this 10, now this is the value error. Now the error will be thrown over here. Now this except block, the catcher is zero division error, but I am getting the value error. When I am getting the value error, this is the mismatch. The appropriate class is mismatch. Now it is again abnormal termination. So keep this point into mind. If you are using the class, the accept class, make sure the same error is thrown from this particular try block. Otherwise you will get the error message, abnormal termination. Now if I clear all these things, okay, Now understand it. One I am writing one more. Hello. Okay, try. Now print 10 divided by 0 except 0 division error. Okay, now print. You cannot divide with 0 or whatever you want to say. You want to perform this 10 divided by 2. Okay, and here print high, whatever. Now understand this flow. Error occur over here. The error is 0 division error. The catcher is same 0 division error. You are printing a message. This cannot be happen because this is against of the mathematical rule. Now print 10 double divided by 5. You are getting 5.0, and after that you are printing high. This is the normal termination. This concept is called normal termination. Okay. Let's suppose here the error occur, value error, and you use the catcher, that is the 0 division error. Now again the abnormal termination. Keep this point into mind. For let's suppose I want to catch multiple classes. For the same, what I have to do? Simple, nothing to do special. Just put over here comma. Okay, now you have to write value error. Okay, value error. So simply you can write this value error, comma key error. Okay, comma key error, comma file not found error, something like this. You can add multiple classes over here. This is the one way. And another way what you can do, try, okay, your statements. Let's suppose accept, okay, and I am writing over here the 0 division error, okay, and then statement, okay, again accept, again I am writing accept. Yes, it is applicable. Try with multiple accept statements. Here I can write value error, okay, you can print this message, accept, okay, let's suppose key error. Okay, now understand the flow. You can write here multiple lines, and the last finally I am using simple accept. Okay, now understand this flow. Let's suppose the error over here is a 0 division error. Now which catcher will be activated? This statement, this class will be activated. Okay, let's suppose the error is value error, then which accept statement will execute? This one. Let's suppose the value is key error. Okay, then this one. Let's suppose there is error which is not associated with 0 division, value error and key error. Then what else? What will happen? Then the default catcher, the default accept statement will be executed. So this concept is called try with multiple accept statement. Yes, this is the valid one. And this concept is called try with multiple accept statement. And when I use this empty accept statement, okay, so this concept is called try with multiple accept statement and with default accept statement. Default mean if all these catcher are failed, okay, if all that, let's suppose there is error that is not associated with 0 division error, value error and key error. Okay, I am getting something extra error. Let's suppose file not found error. Now this catcher is failed to find it out. Again this catcher is failed. Again this catcher is failed. Then what else? What will execute? This default statement will execute. So this is the basically flow into the try with multiple accept statement, try with multiple accept statement and with default accept statement. So this is the way to handle the file handling inside Python. Okay, now your assignment is try to convert your previous 5 to 10 programs, 5 to 10 program with the help of this try and accept statement. Where you find the error, okay, where you find the error, let's suppose you find the value error, okay, in case you find the key errors, try to implement this try and accept statement over there. Okay, and anyone having doubt, please let me know. Okay, now छोटा सा इसका प्रैक्टिकल देख लेते हैं, पिक्चर वुड बी मोर क्लियर. So I am using without, first I am using without print hello. Okay, ठीक है, एक प्रैक्टिकल देख लेते हैं, आपको थोड़ा आइडिया हो जाएगा इसको यूज कैसे करना है। Okay, I am writing this print welcome to maths, whatever जो भी आपने देना दे सकते हो, ठीक है। And I am performing print 10 divided by this n. I am asking from user, okay, number, and print done. Now this is called logical error, okay, or runtime error you can say. Space test1 dot py. Now enter any number. First case I enter 2, perfect, you are getting the perfect values. Now understand it, I am pressing 0. Now you can check it out. The error which is thrown by this line, that is the zero division error, okay, this is the abnormal termination. Now if I want to make it, you know, for the graceful termination, for the normal termination, what I have to do, I know the error can occur over here inside this block. So for inside this block, what I am doing, I am using the concept of exception handling, okay. Now I am catching this. Now make sure this one is a class, the name should be same, okay. So for the same, that I am copying it, and I am pasting over here, okay. So when error occur, now the control is move into this except statement, and here what I have to perform, okay, with 0 cannot done, okay. For the same, what I have to do, print 10 divided by 2, okay. Now understand the case. Now this time what I am doing, enter any number. Let's suppose I enter, you know, 0 this time. So now you can observe the output. Welcome to maths, line executed, error occur over here, the control is travel to the next one. With 0 cannot be done, okay. So 5.0, and perform this operation and done. Now one more time, this time I am writing this 10. Now you can imagine it, okay. Now this time is value error. This is again abnormal termination, because this case, this time the, you know, the error is thrown, that is the value error, okay, that is the value error. Now what I have to do, I have to catch it, okay, catch it. For catching it, the way number 1, you can use it, you can use this. Now observe this scenario. Oh, error, why so error? कर तो सकते हैं यार, कर तो सकते हैं, not possible this way, as shall I say, as ms कर तो सकते हैं, as vv, let me run this way, कर तो सकते हैं ऐसे, पता नहीं क्यों दे रहा है एरर, as ms कर तो सकते हैं, with 0 as ms, okay. Let me try one more way, okay. Let me try one more way. If we do this, okay, might be this would work fine, ठीक है जी, might be this would work fine, yes. Now understand it. Now this time I am writing ten, okay. अब देखो एरर जो आ रही है वो इसी पे आ रही है, एरर जो आ रही है इसी पे आ रही है, तो अपने को क्या करना है, इसको भी उठा लो, ओके, इसको भी उठा लो, इसको भी उठा लो. So what I can do over here? Now simple. इसको भी उठा लो. Now understand this. Enter marks TEN. Now observe it. Okay. Cannot 10. You can print over here message. Okay. This you can print over here. Now you can observe which error occurs. Now the picture would be more clear. आपको अभी पता लग जाएगा कौन सी error है. 10. Now you can done it. You can understand it. With the 0 cannot done. Okay. This is the message. This is the message. VV mean this one. Invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay. So you are converting this string, okay, to integer. That is not possible. So this is the way. If otherwise, what you can do else? Very simple. Now understand it. This is another way. Okay, this is another way. Now if value error there, accept. I want, if value error is there, then what I have to perform? What I have to perform? Print cannot done. You enter string. Okay, now understand it. Okay, I am entering TENNN. Okay, now you can enter. Cannot done. You enter string. Now the control is travel into this error. Okay, here this try, when error is thrown from this try, the accept value error catch that error. Okay, so this is the way. And one more you can do default. If all the exceptions are fail, then I want to perform this. Print please enter valid entry. Okay, so now if I do this, okay, now this is again value error. Let's suppose I am removing it. Okay, I am removing this. Now I am removing this. Now you can observe. Okay, the default will be executed. So this is the way try with multiple accept. Okay, you can add n number of accept. Okay, there is one more that is called inner try block. Okay, inner try block. Try inside try. Now understand it. Try inside try. Nested try, you can say it. Basically the code which is highly risky, that would be inside this nested try. So this accept over here. Okay, this one over here. Now this one over here. Value error. Okay, now understand it. Now this try is associated with this accept. This try is associated with this accept. Okay, now understand the scenario. Let's suppose the error over here. Okay, the error over here. Now which block is associated with it? This accept is associated with it. Okay, so error over here, then it will transfer over here on this block, on this line. Okay, so again inside try I've used one more try. Normally when we use inner try, when the condition is more critical, let's suppose this is my highly risky code, highly risky code. So this code would be placed inside nested try block. Now what will happen? Understand this scenario. If the error occur over here, okay, then it move to this. Let's suppose, now understand this scenario. If this exception is not matched here, the error came, value error. Okay, the error came, that is the value error. Now if I clearly observe it, this try is associated with this accept. Now this is the zero division error, but the value error I am getting over here. Now what will happen? The meaning of this is we won't get error over here. Now it will automatically found the associated class, the associated class into the next accepted block. So this accepted block is associated with this try as well. So keep this point into the mind. The highly risky code is always placed into the nested try statement. Okay, if error occur over here, then it will find out this except block. If this doesn't match, then it automatically find out from this except block, which is associated with this try block. Okay, but for this try block, for upper try block, this first try block, okay, it is associated only with this except block. It is not associated with this except block. Keep this point into mind. But inner try block is also associated with this except block and this except block. Let's imagine there are more except blocks. Okay, so now just imagine the scenario. Okay, there are more except blocks. Now this inner try is associated with this, and with this. If any of the class match, any of the error match, it will print that particular output on the screen. But this is associated only with this and this, but this is associated only with this as well as with this and so on. So this is the concept of the nested try block. So what we learn into this scenario: try with except, okay, try with multiple classes and this default except block, try inside try, that is the nested try block. The choice is again here. Okay, normally inside a nested try we usually put that code which is highly risky code. I know this is very risky code. Okay, if it is very risky code, just try to put it into the nested try statement. So this is all about your try and except statement. Try your 4 to 5 programs. Okay, there is one more term. Okay, now understand this scenario. This is try with except. Okay, nested try with except. Now there is one more term. That term is called try, okay, except, okay, and finally. Now this is again one more combination. I forgot about this. Okay, this is the finally block. Inside try, let's suppose inside try, listen carefully. Inside try, let's suppose the error is there. Okay, the error is inside try, the error is there. Okay, error is there. Now what will happen? Except block will be executed. Will be executed. Let's suppose inside except block there is again error. Then what we can do? Okay, then there is alternate, that is called finally. If now listen carefully. If my program executed successfully or not, finally will always execute. Whatever cases are there, whether there are two conditions, one is the normal termination and the second one is the abnormal termination. One is the normal termination. The normal termination, there is no any error. If error occur, then the respected except block try to resolve that error. That is the normal, the normal execution. Two cases basically there. One is if the error occur, then your respected except block catch that error. Okay, this is the point number 1. And point number 2, if I say the program is successfully executed, that means there is no error. Okay, that means again that is the normal termination. Okay, this is the one case. Second case, let's suppose the error occur into the try, then except block try to catch that error, but inside except block there is again error, then then what will happen? That concept is called abnormal termination. Okay, that is called abnormal termination. Whatever happen, whether it's a successfully termination, whether it is a abnormal termination, your finally will always execute. Keep this point into mind. Now understand this scenario. Okay, inside try, what I did, I perform this action: print 10 divided by 0. Okay, I perform this action. Now inside accept, again I perform this action. Okay, inside finally I print this message, hello, I am closing connection. Okay, so normally finally is used when you are supposed to close all the connection. Okay, releasing the memory, whatever your program successfully terminated or not, successfully executed or not, but it is mandatory to clean the resources basically for over consuming of the memory, to save the over consuming of the memory. So now understand, in this case here the error occur, here the error occur. Okay, again I am writing over here 0. In the both of the cases error occur. This is in abnormal termination. Now I am removing this one. Now understand this concept. Now the error occur in the both of the cases. Okay, during handling, now understand it, during handling the above exception another accept. Okay, so it's mean this is the abnormal termination. Let's suppose my connection is there, my connection is established. Okay, the connection didn't close, my connection didn't closed due to the abnormal termination. Okay, my program is terminated by my connection is not released, so it consumed the memory, it is consuming the memory. Okay, it is consuming the memory. My program is abnormal terminated, but my connection is still there, so that's mean it's streaming the data, it's consuming the memory, a connection is there, it is not released the memory. This is the overconsumption of the memory. Now what I want when I perform finally, that's mean I am closing all the connection. For example, just take a simple example, connection dot close. Okay, we will study this concept in upcoming days when we will do the database connectivity. Okay, the connection dot close, that's mean it's closing the connection, it's breaking this connection, whatever the execution is there. Okay, this line will 100% executed. Now proof for the same, understand this, I am executing this. Now observe this scenario, I am executing this. Now you can observe this scenario. Let me save it. Here, now understand it. Hello, I am closing the connection. Now you can check it out over here. I am closing the connection. Now you can observe it. Okay, now this is the case number 1. Whenever the error inside the try block, whenever the error inside the accept block, the finally will execute. Now understand the second case. Now this time the exception inside try block, okay, that's mean the control will move to the accept block and the control will move to the finally block. Now you can observe this scenario. This finally will execute. Welcome to Mac 5.0. Now the control is move over here 5.0. Okay, 5.0, and hello, I am closing the connection. The connection is closed out. Now this is the case number 2. When the exception raise, the accept block is executed as well as the finally is executed. Now understand it. Now this time there is no exception. Okay, there is no exception. That's mean what output I will get? I will execute this code and I will execute this code. This is the case number 3. Now observe this scenario. Now you can observe this scenario. Welcome to Mac. It execute this line. That's mean there is no error. It never move to the accept block. If it doesn't go to the accept block, then this statement will not execute. But the finally, you can observe this scenario. Finally will always execute. Finally statement will always execute. Where we use the finally statement when we want to release the connections. Okay, at that time we normally use this finally keyword. Now understand this concept. Understand this concept. Okay, this is the concept of the try, accept and finally. Now the picture is, I think, more clear. There is only one case. Okay, sometimes this question might be asked into the interview room. There is only one case when this finally not execute. Okay, there is only one case. Now the case is, let's suppose I import OS. Now OS, what I want, now understand it. When exception raise, okay, when exception raise, what I want, exception raise, I just print a message, okay, I just print a message, and what I did over here, I did OS dot underscore exit. I terminated the program over here. Now in this case, now observe this scenario. In the first case, that there is no exception. No exception mean it won't execute this, it won't execute it, that's mean it will execute this. Now understand it, okay. Now the picture is clear, because inside this there is no exception, that's why I am getting the output, hello, I am closing connection. Now observe the scenario, exception raised. So this question can be asked into the interview room. Okay, now the exception raised, now the control is moved over here, exception raised, and what I used to terminate the program, I used to this exit mean completely close everything. So this finally won't happen. Now in this case you can observe this scenario, exception raised and your program is exited over here. This is the only case where finally block won't be executed. Okay, so this question can be asked into the interview room. So can you please tell me the case where the finally won't be executed? So this is the complete scenario. Okay, there is one more case, 90% people don't know about it. Okay, there is one little, one more statement that you can combine with this. Now observe this scenario. There is one more case. Okay, try, accept, and yes, you can use else. Again, this question is again asked into the interview room or into the Microsoft examination. I faced this problem into the Microsoft examination. Okay, successful execution. Okay, now keep this point into mind. Now this else statement inside Python, I told you n number of time. With if, you can use else. Okay, with for, you can use else. With while, you can use else. And with try, you can use else. So keep this point into mind. Now the question is, when we use this else statement with for loop, now on which criteria this else will execute it? When our for loop successfully executed, then this else will execute it. In the case of for and else, in the case of while and else, when our while successfully executed, then our else will execute it. This is the simply funda of Python when I am using else statement with for, with while, and now I am using this else with try. So the concept is same. This else will execute it only when there is no exception. Okay, now what is the meaning of that? When your except statement not executed, at that time what will executed? Try, else, and finally. Okay, now observe the scenario. In this case I will get the error message. So what will happen? My control is travel to the else part. After this not else, except part. After except, my control will move to the finally part. My else statement won't execute into this scenario. Why so? Because else is always executed when the try is successfully executed. Keep this point into mind. When my try is successfully executed, in this case my try is not successfully executing, that's why my else will not execute it. I won't get any message successfully execution. Now observe this scenario. Okay, observe this scenario. Now you can check it out. Okay, I didn't save it. Okay, now you can check it out. Now what output I will get? Welcome to the math, exception raised, hello, I am closing. Okay, now this statement, the error over here. Okay, now this statement executed, and after that this statement executed. Now in this program there is no any error, no any exception. So what output I will get? 5.0. Okay, after that successfully execution, hello, I am closing the connection. Now understand it. welcome to the math 5.0 successfully execution. Hello, I am closing the connection. Now this else will only executed when your try will successfully executed, mean there is no exception into the try block, then your else block will be executed, and this else is associated with this try, and this is the syntax for the same. First you have to use try, then you have to use except, after that you have to use else, and finally always execute it. Whatever case above, whatever case into these statements, whether this is successfully termination, whether this is abnormal termination, whether this is whatever statement, whether the error inside the except block, the error inside the try block, error inside the else block, but finally we'll always execute. Keep this point into the mind, and normally we use the finally to close the connection, to release the memories. So this is the complete process. Okay, so this is the complete process. Now if you have any doubt regarding this, please do let me know.